everyone. We often find ourselves in situations where someone else's actions wound us deeply. When a man hurts you, there's an immediate, almost instinctual reaction to lash out, to defend, or to retreat into a shell of pain. But what if I told you that the very act of feeling hurt, while valid, often stems from an illusion? The illusion that someone else possesses the power to truly diminish your inner peace. We assign this power to them, unwittingly surrendering our own agency. Think about it. A stone cannot hurt you unless you pick it up and throw it at yourself. Similarly, another person's words or deeds, no matter how sharp, only penetrate our inner sanctum if we allow them to. This isn't about denying the pain, it's about understanding its origin. The pain is real, but the source of its lingering power often lies within our own interpretation and attachment. When someone acts in a way that causes us distress, our immediate focus tends to be on their actions. We analyze their motives, we replay the scenario, we seek validation for our hurt. This external focus, however, is precisely what keeps us trapped. We become dependent on their change, their apology, their understanding for our own healing. This is a losing battle. Why? Because you cannot control another person. You can only control your response. Consider the nature of confusion itself. The title speaks of confusing the one who hurts you. This isn't about strategic manipulation or playing mind games. True confusion in this context is about disrupting their expectation of your reaction. If they expect anger, fear, or despair, and you offer something entirely different, clarity, composure, or even a profound sense of self-possession, that is the ultimate confusion for them. It disarms their perceived power. They expect you to be defined by their actions, but you defy that expectation by choosing to define yourself by your own inner strength. This requires a profound shift in perspective. It means moving from a reactive stance to a proactive one. Instead of being a leaf tossed in the wind of their behavior, you become the tree, rooted and unyielding. The illusion of external power is shattered when you realize that your emotional state is not a puppet on their strings. It's a garden you cultivate within yourself, and only you hold the key to its gate. This realization, this profound internal shift, is the first step towards truly confusing the one who seeks to cause you pain. They will not understand why their arrows do not pierce your shield, and that very lack of understanding is their confusion. It forces them to confront their own actions in a new light, not through your pain but through your unwavering peace. When faced with a hurtful situation, our natural inclination is often to engage, to argue, to justify, to explain. We believe that if only we can make them understand, the pain will cease. But this is another trap. The second keynote speaks to the power of non-engagement and observation. Imagine a tranquil pond. When you throw a stone into it, ripples spread. If you keep throwing stones, the water remains disturbed. But if you stop, eventually the ripples subside and the surface becomes clear again. The stones are their hurtful actions, and our continued engagement is like continuing to stir the water. Instead, we must learn to cease our own agitation. This doesn't mean becoming passive or allowing oneself to be a doormat. On the contrary, it requires immense inner strength. It means stepping back from the immediate emotional whirlwind and becoming an observer rather than a participant in the drama. When someone hurts you, they often seek a reaction. They seek to pull you into their emotional landscape. By refusing to be pulled, by choosing non-engagement, you disrupt their pattern. You deny them the energy they seek to fuel their negativity. This non-engagement isn't about silence in the face of injustice, but about intelligent, mindful response. Sometimes, the most powerful response is no response at all, at least not in the way they expect. It's about creating an internal distance. Imagine you are watching a play. The actors on stage are performing, but you, in the audience, are not part of the drama. You can observe, understand, and feel, but you are not swept away by the emotions of the characters. This detachment allows for clarity. It allows you to see the situation for what it truly is: often revealing the insecurities, fears, or unresolved issues of the person causing the hurt. When you observe without immediate emotional reaction, you gain perspective. You see that their actions are often a reflection of their own internal struggles, not a true measure of your worth. This realization is incredibly liberating. It shifts the focus from "I am hurt because of them" to "they are acting from a place of their own pain and I choose not to internalize it." The confusion you inflict upon them by this non-engagement is profound. They expect a certain level of emotional turmoil from you, a validation of their impact. When they encounter your calm, your measured response, or your insightful observation rather than immediate anger or despair, it throws them off balance. They are left grappling with their own actions in a vacuum, without the expected reciprocal energy. This internal struggle within them, this lack of predictable response from you, is a form of confusion that forces them to look inward, if only for a moment. It's a subtle yet powerful act of reclaiming your power, not by fighting fire with fire, but by becoming the water that quenches the flames. The Shaolin way teaches us to adapt, not to rigidly oppose. And sometimes, the most adaptable and powerful stance is one of quiet, perceptive stillness. The third cornerstone in confusing those who seek to cause you pain is the unwavering cultivation of inner resilience and self-worth. When someone hurts you, they often aim to diminish you, to chip away at your confidence, or to make you doubt your value. Their hurtful actions are often designed to make you feel small, but if your sense of self-worth is not dependent on their approval, their words lose their sting. Imagine a magnificent oak tree. A strong wind might buffet its branches, but its roots are deep, its trunk unyielding. The wind cannot uproot it. Similarly, your self-worth should be deeply rooted, independent of external conditions or the opinions of others. This isn't a superficial self-esteem, it's a profound understanding of your inherent value as a human being. It's the realization that your worth is not granted by others, and therefore it cannot be taken away by them. This cultivation begins with deliberate self-care, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. It means setting boundaries, not just for others, but for yourself. Boundaries against negative self-talk, against internalizing external negativity. It involves actively nurturing your strengths, acknowledging your accomplishments, and forgiving your imperfections. It means understanding that your past experiences, including those where you were hurt, do not define your present or your future. They are lessons, opportunities for growth, but they are not your identity. When your cup of self-worth is full, an insult from another person is like a single drop in an ocean. It barely registers. It becomes their problem, their projection, their inability to see your true light, rather than a reflection of your inadequacy. This strong sense of self-worth acts as an impenetrable shield. The confusion this creates in the one who hurts you is immense because you are defying their fundamental expectation. They expect to see you broken, diminished, or reactive. When they encounter someone who remains centered, grounded, and confident despite their efforts, it short-circuits their strategy. They can't understand why their attacks are not landing. They are looking for a weakness to exploit, but they find only strength. This resilience isn't about being emotionless, it's about processing emotions without being consumed by them. It's about acknowledging the pain but choosing not to dwell in it, choosing instead to channel that energy into growth and self-improvement. When you radiate a quiet confidence that is unshakable, it forces them to confront their own lack of power over your inner state. This truly confuses them as their usual tactics become utterly ineffective. They are left with the uncomfortable realization that their efforts to bring you down have only served to highlight your unyielding spirit. Our fourth keynote explores a powerful, counterintuitive approach, the strategic use of empathy and compassion. This might sound paradoxical. Why offer empathy to someone who has hurt you? This isn't about excusing their behavior or condoning their actions. Rather, it's about understanding that often people who inflict pain are themselves in pain. Their actions can stem from fear, insecurity, past trauma, or a deep misunderstanding of themselves and the world. By recognizing this, you depersonalize the attack. You see their actions as a symptom of their own struggle, rather than a direct assault on your being. This doesn't mean you accept abuse. It means you gain a deeper, more detached understanding of its roots. When you can look at the person who hurt you and recognize their own suffering, even if it's deeply buried, it shifts your emotional landscape. You move from victimhood to a position of understanding, which is incredibly empowering. This empathy also extends to yourself. Be compassionate with your own pain. Acknowledge your hurt. Allow yourself to feel it without judgment, but then choose not to remain in that state. Self-compassion allows you to heal and move forward. It's about treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a dear friend. When you are compassionate with yourself, you don't beat yourself up for feeling pain, you gently guide yourself towards healing and strength. This dual compassion, for self and, strategically, for the other, disarms the situation in a profound way. It's about responding from a place of wisdom, not pure emotion. This doesn't mean you become a doormat or allow repeated harm. Compassion can also mean setting firm boundaries, protecting your energy, and choosing to remove yourself from toxic situations. True compassion sometimes involves allowing others to face the consequences of their actions, which can be a difficult but necessary lesson for them. The confusion this generates in the person who hurt you is profound. They expect anger, resentment, or a defensive stance. When they are met with a calm, almost empathetic understanding, it disorients them. They are likely prepared for conflict, but you offer something entirely different, a mirror reflecting their own internal state, rather than a battleground. This unexpected response can force them to re-evaluate their actions and their own emotional landscape. They might not understand why their attempt to diminish you has been met with such an unexpected and peaceful resolve. This is where their confusion lies, in the disconnect between their intent to harm and your refusal to be harmed in the way they anticipated. You are essentially saying, "I see your pain, but I choose not to absorb it." This powerful non-reactive stance forces them to confront themselves, which can be the most confusing and impactful experience for someone who is used to eliciting a predictable negative response. Finally, the ultimate way to confuse someone who hurts you, and perhaps the most powerful and sustainable, is to embark upon and steadfastly remain on the unyielding path of personal growth and purpose. When someone tries to inflict pain, their subtle aim is often to derail you, to distract you, to consume your energy with their negativity. They want you to dwell on their actions, to be paralyzed by the hurt. But when you respond by channeling that energy, not into anger or despair, but into accelerating your own journey of self-improvement and pursuing your life's purpose, you render their efforts utterly meaningless. Your growth becomes their confusion. Your progress becomes their enigma. Imagine trying to stop a flowing river with your bare hands. It's impossible. The river continues its course, unbothered by your futile attempts. Your life's purpose, your dedication to becoming a better version of yourself, should flow with similar unstoppable momentum. This path involves continuous learning, honing your skills, pursuing your passions, and contributing to something greater than yourself. It means transforming adversity into fuel. The pain you experience can be a powerful catalyst for change, a signpost pointing you towards areas of greater strength and resilience. Instead of lamenting what was done to you, you ask, "How can this make me stronger? How can I learn from this? How can I use this experience to further my own purpose?" This reframing of adversity is central to the Shaolin philosophy. Every challenge is an opportunity for growth, a chance to refine your spirit and sharpen your mind. When you are deeply immersed in your own growth and purpose, the hurtful actions of others become mere background noise. They lose their ability to dominate your thoughts or derail your progress. Your focus is forward, always towards becoming the best version of yourself. The confusion for the person who hurt you is truly astonishing here. They planted seeds of doubt expecting to see you wilt. Instead, they witness you blossoming, growing taller, stronger, more vibrant. Their attempts to pull you down have inadvertently propelled you higher. They cannot comprehend why their negative energy failed to diminish you, why in fact it seems to have fueled your ascent. This is the ultimate confusion, a profound and undeniable demonstration that their power over you is non-existent. You have taken their negative input and, through the alchemy of self-mastery, transformed it into positive output. Your unwavering commitment to your own evolution sends a clear message: your actions do not define me. My purpose does. This is not an act of revenge, it is an act of liberation. It is living proof that true power lies within, and that no external force can truly extinguish the flame of your spirit if you choose to keep it burning bright. By focusing on your own growth and purpose, you become an unmovable force, leaving those who tried to harm you baffled by your unwavering light.